So, Tibet, the challenges and chaos of getting that Tibet visa in regards to the Chinese visa. So, this thing's a bitch and a half. Let me just put that out there first. And also, you can't just willy-nilly get a Tibet visa. It has to be done for you. So, like so many other things in that part of the world, in that region, this is all organized, all controlled, right? You need to be on a guide. You need to pay for this stuff. It needs to be organized, and then your tour manages your visa so you get it. But the thing about going to Tibet, at least as an American, because there were not loads of Westerners in Tibet, but there were loads of Chinese tourists. The thing about getting there as a Westerner is that you have to have your Chinese visa first. And a lot of places don't make that obvious. They don't explain it, they don't tell you, and it's because it's like an open secret situation, right? China says you have to have your Chinese visa. And then you can go get your Tibet visa. And Tibet, or Nepal, it depends how you're working through it or what you're doing with your tour, says, oh, you have to get your, sorry, the other way. China says you have to get your Tibet visa first, and then we'll give you your Chinese visa. And Tibet and Nepal are saying, you have to get your Chinese visa first, and then we'll give you your Tibet visa. And it's a nightmare because you gotta know that ahead of time. And this thing is so fucked that, because it's like, how do you do that? How do you, right? So basically, if you do this, if you have neither and you're going to do it and you're like, I want to go on a trip to Tibet, which is what most of us who are just going for a trip to Tibet do, and you go like fill out your visa, and it asks you things that says Tibet. It asks you your itinerary, asks you where you're going, where you're flying in, flying out of, and if you put stuff about Tibet in there, then they say, oh no, you can't have this visa because you need a Tibet visa. As if that were the reason. They say, oh, you need your Tibet visa, as if that were the reason. And so they won't give you your Chinese visa if you don't have your Tibet visa, which you cannot get without your Chinese visa. I promise. That's how it works. That's the system. And because of this, what has happened is there's a pop-up, and like, it's so annoying because it's like, if you're a company working with Westerners and this is happening on the regular, why would you not tell them ahead of time? Now, some of them do, but pay attention, look out for it. And here's how the game works, right? So what happens is this company that you book with, if you've separately, like you're going on a trip to China and you're just doing that and whatever, and then later in the day, and you still have a visa, and later in the day you want to go to Tibet, you're going to be golden. There's going to be no issue. But if your intent is to go to Tibet, then you're going to run into this problem, right? So I'd recommend getting a long visa. I ended up getting a 10-year visa, and it was all the same price. It was expensive. It was like almost 300 US, I want to say. But the like 1 year, the 5 year, the 10 year, they were all the same price, and I was like, why wouldn't I? And I was like, I don't know, something about, yeah, they were all kind of like, it seemed like same pricing. It's like you hit a threshold, and once you're over that threshold, that's just the price. And it's like, as an American, you automatically get bumped to that threshold. So 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, why not? Oh, I know what the other thing is when you go to select your how long do you want it for, it's not a drop down menu of here's our 4 options of visa. It's just a fill-in form. So it's like, you could write anything. You could write 1 year, you could write 4 months, you could write turtles. It's not a drop down menu. So look up what the options are ahead of time so that you don't screw that section up. And I believe it's 1 year, 5 year, 10 year are like the common ones, but look it up. It doesn't even tell you if you're writing in years or months or something like that. So I got the 10 year. But what I was going to tell you is that the game that you play goes like this, right? You, as a Westerner, want to go on a trip to Tibet. You don't have any of your visas yet, you message the company and you tell them, I want to take this tour through Tibet, and they say, great, blah, 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 dates, weather, this and that, itinerary, send it. And then if they're good, they explain this whole visa situation. And they say, okay, now you need to get your Chinese visa, and you need to tell them you're taking a trip through China. Explicitly, they have to tell you you're lying to the Chinese government. I think that's fucked up. I think it's weird. I think it's super weird that China is forcing this to happen, because that's how that is. And it's like, I don't understand enough of the political like, I get the tension for Tibet and China, but I don't know enough of the political background for why they don't want that tourism to happen, but it's still possible and they know it's happening. I don't know. Maybe it's just not high on the priority list, and it's like a little thing that's got some shit crossover, and they're just like, we got other shit on our plate, so fine. But what'll happen is that this company, because they know that they're telling you to basically tell China something that isn't how it is, you need flights, you need this and that, and they will either point you to websites that literally make it look as if you've got a booking, or they provide you a fake itinerary. Are you kidding me? What system designed this? A fake itinerary so that you can tell China that you're going on a trip to China just for its sake. Get all your visa stuff, and then you're just like, you know what? I had a change of heart. I think I want to take a little trip to Tibet. And then you can get your Tibet visa, and then it's all hunky-dory. And it's like, if they know that that's happening, then why isn't that a problem later? I don't know. It's absurd. The whole thing is like nuts. But there you have it. That's how it works. So again, get yourself settled, get yourself organized. Chinese visa first, get it all set, and then the company will handle the Tibet visa side. Good luck.